Hey, everyone. Welcome to the weekly wrap up that hasn't been weekly over the last couple of weeks.
No, the fortnightly wrap up due to unforeseen circumstances, but we are back and we have a
I think that
full,
unforeseen circumstances is Bitcoin is sideways.
instead of up only. Uh, well, you haven't tuned into up only. Don't worry, this is the weekly wrap up. And I don't know, Bitcoin sideways. How much have we got to say this time around anyway, Lise?
Well, I think we're coming close to the end, whether that's like a couple of weeks, a month, who knows. But I think interest rates have peaked for now, and the next rate will be a hold again, which is good for the market. I think, as a whole, everyone is overstretched and feeling the pinch. In Australia, food prices have gone through the roof. So inflation is not under control. So I don't see how putting up, interest rates is going to control that. That just increases it because everyone's standard of living goes higher. So I think this has to be, it has to hold here for a moment, and we can allow the market a little bit of breathing space.
And in terms of volume and activity, I saw a tweet the other day saying it's the lowest, I think, in about 5 years of activity for people searching crypto on Google. And that's for just the word crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum seem to have a bit more activity individually. But it does feel like a bit of tumbleweed is floating across Twitter and stuff. It feels a bit empty. And certainly when trading, I've noticed a little bit more of a lack of liquidity and volume. But you're still hopeful that's all still there and going to be coming back.
Oh, I'm sure once the market starts moving, that will come back when the market starts moving. So, so let's jump into Bitcoin. Obviously, during periods of bear market, a lot of people are buying the dip for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're building their bull market bags. Alts will bleed. There will be the odd alt that, goes on a run. So, depending on news, depending on what the team is doing, depending on, whales trading, that sort of stuff. So we want to watch those alts. We want to watch basically what, Bitcoin's doing, what US dollar dominance is doing, what BTC dominance is doing, what the DXY is doing. So there's a few things that you really need to sort of, look at to understand where the market as a whole is going. So for regular watchers, I'm sure you've all seen this chart. This is a quantitative chart. It is basically works with quantitative tightening, which is how interest rate rises work. So this is built into the 4-year cycle. If we have a look at it, we can see where the halving begins, where that runs in the cycle, and how far away we are from those moments. And we can see that we're right sort of smack in the middle, where where we should have a second bottom. We should be sort of looking from sort of about Feb to about May next year. That's our cycle bottom before we start climbing to like new bottom, not absolute bottom. I think our actual bottom is in with the FTX dip. So that works with the 4-year cycle. So this technical bottom for the next one is sort of looking at about February to March. So what that means basically is we're probably going to finish off that run. So whether we get to 35 or we get to 45 is kind of unknown for this next bit. We do need a bit of a money injection. It could be the rally that we get when we see that BlackRock ETF go through. ETFs are a bit complex, so whether that goes through or not, but they've been trying for a long time. And so we're sort of in this no-man land at the moment, where we could have one more dip just to retest that support is still there, and then that's when we take off. So if we go down to, this is the very, very sideways sort of, 12-hour chart. We go down to lower time frames, it gets even more sideways, as you can see. Not a lot of momentum or movement or volume or anything coming in. We are touching MAs. It does look like, it's going up and down for volume. It is looking like weekends at the moment. Everyone's taking the weekend off. It's been nice. So, looking at this chart, when we jump up to the 4-hour chart, we can see that we've got quite a bit of green happening here, but our stock and our RSI is sitting right in the middle, which means it could pull back again, but the stock is quite high at the top. So likely we're going to see one more bounce here and then a greater pullback. So another retest. So when we look at this 4-hour, the 200 MA is sitting right at that diagonal resistance. So it's a pretty good indicator that one more wave to that region, about 27.5, and then we'll pull back again. So whether that's the move up for that ETF announcing, or whether it's something else, I do think that's going to happen in the next week or two. Just get my crystal ball, but it could go sideways for a lot longer. But yeah, so I think when we get the FOMC meeting this month, we're going to have a stay on those interest rates, and that should help the market and a little bit of volume coming in. And I don't think we're going to get, we'll probably have another cut. We might even, I was talking to a broker today because I'm getting a loan for an investment property, and he thinks we're going to get a stay. The big 4 banks in Australia have put a stay on rates rising for the moment because they don't want to break the economy. Even if the RBA raises it here, they're going to put a stay on the rates. So I think that won't see that rate rise until maybe about February, March next year. And that works in with that technical bottom on Bitcoin. So, so it's a bit of sort of, juggling at the moment. It's a bear market, so we're going to see sideways continue. When we look at the US dollar dominance chart, we are seeing that we should have another pullback. I'd like to see this dominance chart sort of hold this region here and then sort of, go into that sort of momentum, sort of sideways, just like filling out this region. So Bitcoin can get some momentum happening. When we look at the Bitcoin dominance, we're coming back down to this channel support. So once we hit about 48.5, we should start taking off from that Bitcoin dominance again. So remember, when Bitcoin dominance does start moving, this is a chart to keep an eye on. When that starts moving, your alts are going to bleed, because what it means is the money from the market is coming from the alts. There's alert on BSV, and moving into Bitcoin. So, when ETH dominance increases as well, that means that money from the market is moving into Ethereum. So just there are a couple of charts to keep an eye on: the BTC.D, BTC dominance, ETH BTC chart, total 2, and USDT dominance. So such a mouthful. But yeah, so when we do look at the total crypto market cap, we can see that, we've had that liquidity pull out again. So CoinMarketCap yesterday said that liquidity dropped 44.44%. Today it's up 7%, but that is still down overall, obviously, because we haven't made up that 44.44% that liquidity came out of the market yesterday. So today in the States, it is also Labor Day, so there's a holiday there. So it just means there's less people trading, less money in the market. Obviously, with food and with interest rates and everything like that rising, there's less money in the market. So you've got to look at that overall. So, if we can get a stay on those rates, we can get some of the big players to move across from the stock markets, which will probably happen once that BlackRock ETF goes through. And we should have a nice couple of months until the end of this cycle. So yeah, I'm hopeful. We're nearly at the end and we're going to see some green.
That would certainly be nice. Okay, so was there anything else you wanted to share with Twitter and YouTube? Obviously, we have, I can see in the chat, plenty of people from the group here chiming in, which is great. And we will go into our little secret space in a minute, just for you guys. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat now. Any coin charts you might want to see, although I have a feeling a lot might be looking sideways.
Yeah, I think, for the next couple of weeks until we do get that technical bottom for this part of the market, I think, we're going to see a bounce hopefully within the next 2 weeks. How big that bounce is, we don't know, but we do need to see. Just let me pull up one more chart. So I just want to show you something on the DXY. So basically, DXY is a US dollar currency index. So it incorporates, I think, about, from memory, 9 currencies on the DXY. We can see that it's had quite a bounce. Bitcoin has sustained that by going sideways. It has made some of the alts bleed. That's quite normal in the bear market. Alts fare a lot worse than what Bitcoin does because, everyone knows that you're stacking sats at this point, ready for the bull market. We have quite a strong resistance coming up at 104.9 on the DXY. So this might be a region that we can get a stay in this region, and Bitcoin can actually get some momentum happening again. So we're very high on the RSI. It doesn't normally break above that. It can sort of move sideways in that region. This is a daily chart. You'll see every time we have got at these high regions on the RSI, we have pulled back. So we had the pullback here. We've got a pullback here. We're at this region here. I do think we're going to reject at that 104.9, and then we're going to have a run on Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum and a few of the larger alts. So I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if it's going to be just a temporary run, it's still nice to see some green.
Certainly is. Okay, cool. We've got a couple of questions here. So anything else, or shall we
we'll jump back into the group. So, if you want to be with us for the rest of the group, for the weekly wrap-ups, make sure you join GSIC. There's links in my Twitter here and links on YouTube.
In your X, you mean?
I mean my X that they don't ever repair, but yeah.
Despite not getting your account back yet. It's
well, I've got access to my account, which is nice. So I know when other people have had been locked out of their accounts, they've actually been locked out. So I'm lucky that we've got everything set up so that I can do this, so that I can tweet. It's a little bit harder to reply sometimes if I'm not sitting right in front of my PC. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Okie dokie. Let's say goodbye to you.